Hello everyone, welcome to CommunityForce webinar. As you know, my name is Marian Mirza. I'm going to facilitate this webinar and will be answering the questions that you may have during the Q&A break today. We are waiting for others to join. So what we will do is, while we wait for the rest of our attendees to join, let us show you how you can use this webinar to ask questions and access the handouts. Now, as you can see, there is a panel on the right-hand side of your screen with an arrow. Please use the arrow that is represented in an orange box to collapse or open this panel. You can use the question area to type in your questions and click on send or enter. We will receive your questions and answer them by either typing them in or verbally during the Q&A break. If we miss answering any of your questions, we will send you the response via email after the webinar. Now, all of you have been put on mute in order to avoid any confusion during the presentation. Also, a copy of today's presentation is available in the handout section, as shown earlier. Please click on the PDF copy by clicking on the title of the handout as shown here. This handout contains the links to individual help guides, knowledge-based articles, etc. For each of the topics that we are going to cover today. Let me just check. Okay, all right. Since most of you have joined, let us start with a brief of today's webinar. The topic for today is communicating with all users through CommunityForce software. We have with us our amazing Christine Smith, who will be our trainer for today and will go over all the relevant areas under this topic. The duration for this webinar is 1 hour. I will pass over this mic to Christine now. All yours, Christine. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.
And thank you, Maureen, for that fine introduction. So let's go ahead and get started with our presentation today. And so with today's presentation, we're going to be covering an overview of our notification center and discuss how to edit those email templates that are out there, how to create email templates, and then we'll also go over the merge fields, some of the key merge fields that you may not know what they mean or where they're linking to. We'll go over those. And then if you're using our SMS text messaging feature, we'll show you how to send emails using that functionality. And then we'll end the session today. We'll talk about the how to create some custom templates, like if you want to create some of your own templates. And so who's going to benefit? Of course, this will be any of you administrators that are responsible for sending out communications to other users. So any communication, whether it's an applicant or a reviewer or a specific user on the site, we'll talk about how to send those emails to those. If you're the person responsible for that, then you'll benefit from today's session. So the topics we're going to be covering is how to, first of all, where are the email templates? Where is that notification center? How do you access the email templates? We have global templates and system templates, so we'll talk about how to access those. And then we'll get into how to edit and create templates, and then the merge fields, using merge fields. And then also get into how to create request section templates. So request section templates are those templates, if you're using request sections, you create a request section and you name it that when you create the section. And then within request sections, you can actually tie an email template to that. So we'll talk about some little bit of a special functionality on how to do that. And then we'll take a quick break for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then after our break, we will continue on and discuss how to send emails. So we've talked in the first half, we'll talk about how to create them. The second half, we'll talk about how to send them, and then how to view a sent message. So we'll talk about how to send individual messages to applicants, and then we'll talk about reviewer emails, as well as how you can use user setup to send emails through that as well. So the first topic we want to discuss is going to be with the Notification Center. And so the Notification Center is the location where you create all of those email templates that are out there. All the email templates that are built into our system, whether they're custom or they're system templates, they're all going to be located in your Notification Center. So there's two locations you can access the Notification Center. So within the application itself, so let me open up our site here. So here I'm logged in as an admin. and I'm on the home dashboard. And if you open up the application itself, and you'll see a tab that says Notifications. And then when you click that notification tab, that will take you to the email templates. So that's one way. That takes you, that's per application. Every application has this notification tab. Now, we also have a global way of accessing notifications. And so that's located under the Administration tab. And if I open up the Administration tab here, you'll see a Global Notification Center. So if I click on that one, what this one does, the global one actually allows you to see all of your applications and all of your templates. So of course, this would only be more than likely accessible by your global admin. But what this is nice is it lets you see all of your applications. You can click on each individual application and see all the templates for every application. You're not going home, selecting the application, going into the notification center. You can actually get to all of them from this one page here. Now, something else that's on the Global Notification Center, and this is the only place to access these, is if I click the drop-down arrow here and I go to the Select, this grouping of templates are what we call our System Global templates. So System Global templates are any template that isn't connected to an application. So as you can see here, we have about 5 of them. And these are the forgot password, the grad admin changed password, post award update, password change confirmation, new account confirmation. All of these are what's called system global, and they're not tied to that application form. And so that's where you would access those, is here under the global notification centers. It's not, since it's not tied to an application, this is the only place you can get them. Now, one thing you do want to, with all your templates, and even with your global, is always click in, like it's always a good practice to look at your templates. And to actually access a template, it's just a matter of clicking the template. And something I want to address on your global templates especially is in regards to using a password. So you can see here, I clicked on the template to open it. And when I click on the template, I have my subject line, and that's something you want to check all your email templates, because that subject line is what your applicants see when they get the email. So you want to make sure that that subject line is something that has meaning to them. And then the template description is an internal description that you see internally. The applicant doesn't see that, but it's for you to know what is the purpose of that template. So it's always good, to familiarize yourself with the subject line and the description. And then you can always edit those, because if it doesn't have meaning to you, you can put it to something that maybe for your organization, it might mean more to them, like in your terms, you can change that description. And of course here, this is an password template. And so there is a password in here. And that's fine. You can put passwords. You can see these are the system template. This is the merge fields I can use. And so the password that's used here, you do want to use caution if you include this, because remember, this is going to your applicant's email, into their email program, whatever provider they have that's providing their email. If it would happen to get hacked or something like that, somebody would have access to their password. So some people like to have this in here, and then other times some of our clients decide not to put that in there. But that's just a word of caution of something that it does. If you use this password field, that is going to your applicants or your reviewers or whoever you're sending this to, anytime they create an account, that's going to be included in it. So this is that create account. They create a new account on your site, it sends the email and the password to them. So those system templates, a lot of times we have them in our defaults. We do have that password in there. So you will want to go in. If you don't want the passwords to be in there, then you do want to go ahead and remove that field. But otherwise, you do need to, if you're not giving them the password, you might want to give them some other instructions, like maybe to click the forgot password if they need to reset their password or something like that in case they lose it. So that is the system global templates. Now, another global template that's out there that I don't want you to get confused with the Global Notification Center is if you go down here to the bottom, you're going to see a Global Notification Default Templates. So the Global Notification Default Templates, these are all the templates on the site, okay? So if you have an application already built, so when CommunityForce gave you the site, and when you got the site, your application was already built on it. So every time you build that application out, you clone that original application, there's emails in the notification center that go with that application. They clone over an exact replica. These global notification default templates are the ones that are there when we first created that application for you. If you create a new application, you don't clone an application, you create a new one. So of course, since if you're not cloning, of course, it's not going to have any notification templates. So how does the system know what templates to bring over? This is the templates that it brings over. This is the default templates that when you create a brand new application, these are the templates that come within that new application. So as soon as you create a new application, they're in the notification center. So if you want to edit those before, like every time you create an application, you're like, every time I create an application, I have to go in and edit this template. Well, this is where you would edit those templates. And this isn't like a master template. So if you edit it here, it's only going to edit it for all your create new applications going forward, not the clone. It's not going to take and push this change up to an existing application. It's only for new applications. And if you're wondering where those templates are coming from, that's coming from the global notification default templates. And then every time you create a new application fresh from scratch, I'll say, then these are the templates that would then come over with the edits in them. Okay, so that's the global notification default templates. It's not to be confused with the global notification center, which is existing templates that are existing in your applications already. So now let's talk about some editing functionality and some helpful hints with editing your templates. So when editing templates, what's nice is here in the Global Notification Center, of course, is if I want to edit multiple templates. So like here, remember we talked about creating new, but maybe I have a template, I'm using it in multiple applications, and I want to make an edit to it, but I need to make that edit in multiple applications. Well, that's where I like to do those edits within the Global Notification Center, because I can click on one application, I can find my template, open it up, and then when you open it up, it opens up that template, and it's just a matter of coming in here, and maybe I notice an extra space. So now there's that extra space. I want to remove it. I can then make my change. Go ahead and Control A, Control C to copy it. And then before I get out of here, because I don't want to lose the change I made, make sure and hit Update. And then once I'm done with that one, I can then click the drop down, go to my next template, my next application, open up the same template, and then come in here, and then I can just come here and then just Control V to paste it in with my new edit, hit Update, and then I have it there in both of those applications. And then you can do that across all the applications you want to change. So that's a nice little helpful hint. If you have multiple applications that you need to make an adjustment to, that's a nice little tip. Now, also in templates, you're going to see words that say system. And then as you scroll through, you're going to notice it goes from system and you're going to start seeing custom. So what's the difference between a system and a custom? So a system template is a template that's going to be automatically triggered to go out based on a certain occurrence or event in the application form. So it's an automatic system template that usually gets sent out by the system because of some occurrence that has happened. Custom templates are templates that you're going to create yourself, Any template that you build yourself is going to be a custom template. System templates you're not allowed to build because system templates have programming in the background that tell the system that this is a system template, send this template when this occurrence happens. So custom templates are any that you create. So even if you have a system template that you'd want a copy of that you'd like to send manually, then you can create a copy of that custom template, and we'll show you that here in a minute how to do that. So that's just kind of to help explain the difference between a system and a custom template. So now that's pretty much editing. You just open it up, make your edits, and make changes. So now let's go into creating a custom template. And then at the end of that, we'll get into what those merge fields are after we talk about creating custom templates. So I'm going to go out. I'm just going to do, you can create a custom template here by hitting create template if you're putting it in multiple applications. And then of course, just once you create it in one, you can copy it. Or again, I'm going to go back to my home page. I'm going to do this in my application form itself. I'm going to click the application because I'm just doing this in my one application. I don't want to do it across multiple. Open up my notification center here. And then once we get here, whoops, I'm going the wrong way here. Once we get here, we have where we can create our custom email templates. So again, the system templates you cannot create, even though when I show you how to create templates, you can pull from those system templates, but you won't be able to create a system template. So if we go to the site here and click on the notification within the application. So I went home, selected the application. We're in that notification center now. And I'm going to hit the create template here. And then once I hit that create template, this is what you're going to see. It's going to be a blank slate. And then of course it says custom and system. You always want to make sure this says custom because this is a custom template that you're physically creating. It's not a system template. It's not going to be tied to any programming. This is for our internal staff when they are making templates for you, then that they would be making them and then going to our programming, our department, and then having them program it into it. So here you have a copy an existing template or create new. So if you're creating a brand new one, you're not copying from an existing template, you want to make sure to have add new template. If you're copying an existing template, you want to make sure, here's the list of all the templates you can copy from. If you copy a template, it's just a matter of, let's say I have, maybe I have an application, I like the verbiage of it, I want to use it, so I can just click it. And then once I click it, it then puts it in here. And then if I edit this, I'm not editing that existing template, I'm creating a new one. So that's a way that you can copy an existing template. So if you want to create a new, you do add new. And then also there's another type of template you might want to create, and that's the nomination template. That's those request section templates. So if you're creating a template that's a request section, then you do want to make sure and click the add new nomination template so that you have that request section and the system knows it's a request section. And then you also have where you can copy a request section email as well. So I'm going to click the, let's see which one. Let's click on this one, additional info requested. So let's say I want to create a new app email template on additional information requested. I'm not using the, this email is actually the one that goes out when you do section release, when you release a section to an applicant. But maybe there's something I want to maybe release manually and I don't want to use that release a section functionality, but I want to maybe have an email very similar to it. So I'm just going to copy it. And then over here, whenever you create a new or copy a template, you do have to give it a name so that you can differentiate what that name is. I'm just going to put that, hopefully it'll go to there. And then the subject line, again, that's important because that's what the applicant is wanting, or what applicant is seeing, and you want them to be able to know what it is that they're getting. Okay, and then you can just put a note here. And then now we're down here in the body of it. So in the body of the email, then of course you have the information. You make your changes or you type your message, and then you can click save, and then that will save the message. It's that simple. And then once you hit save, you'll go back out. So if I was to hit save here and then go back out, it'll probably be in page 5 here. Then you'll have it there in your listing. And then anytime you go to send an email, it will be there available to select. So that's how you create a new one. So now we've talked about creating new templates. Let's talk a little bit about the merge fields, because depending on what you're creating, certain merge fields are requirements within templates. You'll see merge fields that are out there that you might not understand. Okay, what's this merge field? What is it looking at? So I'm going to go over a few of those now and discuss what some of those merge fields are. So if we return back, I'm just going to go back here to page 1 and open it up here to the create new. And I'm going to pick, first of all, I'm going to look at this additional info request, because that's going to give us a few different templates. And depending on what you open up, a lot of times, the copying existing template, you're going to see some of these merge fields change. Well, you may have them like notice here, I have available merge fields, and it's because I've chose this template that's already out there. It was a system template. I have those available merge fields, and I can put some different merge fields in that I wouldn't have available for another type of template. And you'll notice if I change, like for instance, let's see here. Let me go to the actual system one. That's the one I copied, but this one. So you're going to notice here, this one has a comments and a section. And in order to get those fields, I have to be in this specific template to get those fields. When creating or editing templates, it's very important, especially editing a system template, that you use caution if you are going to be removing anything that has a bracket, because those are merge fields. So these are the merge fields. This is the specific template I'm looking at. There's some specific merge fields that are very important to the applicant. If you were to remove them, this functionality wouldn't work properly. So again, remember I said this was when you're releasing a section to an applicant using our release a section functionality. When you do so, one, when you release a section, you're telling the system what the section is, and you're giving it a deadline. So this merge field right here in this specific template that says sections, that's the section that's being released to them. So if you remove this field from this system template, they won't know what section they're to complete. Also in that same process, when you're releasing a section to them and you have a comment box to give them instructions on why you're releasing that section, it's called comments in that functionality. This is that comment field. If you remove that comment field, you're not going to have that comment to that applicant, and they're not going to know why it's being released to them. The same thing goes for nomination templates. So if I open up a request for signature, let me get the actual one here. Let's see, there it is. This is the actual template that the system uses. It has all the fields in it. So a request nomination template, you're going to notice there's some different codes here. And if you notice down here, it says only for nomination templates. So anytime you're creating a template for a request section, you want to make sure you have these merge fields available, because these are specific merge fields specific to that functionality and for that email that's going out. So for request sections, maybe you're a grant user and you're wanting the signature of someone. So you have a request for signature email. Or maybe you're a scholarship user and this is a request for maybe a letter recommendation. So you want to change the message to be a letter recommendation. You're going to create an additional request. You're going to come up here. You're going to create your template that says add new nomination template. And then when you're creating it, you want to make sure and get the appropriate fields for the nomination templates. So what are those appropriate? What are those key fields? So first of all, one of the key fields is the recommender name field. So for some reason, it didn't pull it up. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, so here, I'm sorry, it's down here. So recommender name. So this applicant first name, applicant last name, of course, that's the applicant that is the actual applicant. So you're not sending this to the applicant, you're sending it to the recommender. So you want to make sure that you don't put dear and then the applicant's name, because that's not who it's going to. You want to make sure to come down here and pick up the recommender name and put that in as to whom you're sending it to, so that it goes to the correct name. And then of course here we have first name, last name. This is the applicant. So we're telling the recommender this applicant's requiring your signature in support of their application for. And then this is the application name. So this is the name of the application, not the program. If you wanted the grant fellowship name, the name that's actually being seen when they're searching for applications and they're seeing the application, the whole program on your home page, that's the grant fellowship name. The application name is the actual name of the application. So the application name on this one is this name right here. The grant fellowship name is the name that's under the Manage Applications Fund. The actual fund that's tied to it is the grant fellowship name. That's the difference between the two. So in this one, the application name is going to be this name here. And then this comments, this is, again, when the recommendation is done, there's a comment field that the applicant can add a comment. That's what this comment field is here. So if that comment field is in that email, the request box for the applicant, and you remove the comment, then when the applicant gives notes to the requester as to what they're looking for, what type of signature, why they need the signature, if you remove this, then the applicant's message to that recommender won't be there. The request details link. So it says, please use the online form at, and then this is the link that takes them to the request section that they've been requested to complete. So of course, if this gets removed, they're not going to get sent to that section to complete. The denies link. So there's also in here the ability to deny the request. For some reason, I don't have one in this request details link. So if they don't want to do the link, they can click on the link and click deny, or you can actually add a link to that, which I don't have that in here because I don't want them clicking it. I want them to actually go to the section and click the deny button. But you can actually have a link where you could say, click here if you want to deny this, and then it would go through the whole denial process where it would notify that applicant that the recommender denied it. That's what the denies link is. The URL, of course, here, there's two different URLs, an access code URL and a long URL. So this access code right here, sometimes someone can receive an email and there's so much security on the site. So especially if it's going to a counselor, they may get the link, they try to click on the link and they can't because it's blocked because of their system has got high security on it. So it's blocked. So this access code here is the access code that's given to them to go to the login page, and then on the login page there's a nominate or login. They can click that login and enter an access code. So that's what this access code is. If you don't include that, they don't have that access code to be able to bypass the linkage. I'm giving them the URL, and then I'm giving them the access code so that if they can't click this link, they can at least copy, paste the URL to a browser, get to our site, go down in the left right-hand corner, hit the nomination login, hit nominator login, and then there's a place for them to enter that access code. So you can give them the access code URL or the long URL. The access code URL will take them to that access code page. And then of course the section due date is nice to include because you're telling them to to provide a signature, and then what's the date that the applicant has to have that section completed by. That's that section due date, the section that's been requested of them to complete. Whatever the due date you put when you built that section, that's the section due date that's going to be shown to them. Now another field here that, since we're here and it's in this email template, we can address it, is the signature field. So this signature field, if you notice over here, it says funding opportunities signature, and then it also has in parentheses site setting. Because this field, if you put this in an email template, goes to 2 different locations to look for a signature. So of course on a system template, it's going to go to the site setting. So in the administration site settings, there is a field called signature. And whatever is in that field, in your site setting field, is, if it's not tied to an application, it's going to go to the site setting and pick up the field that's in the site setting signature site setting. However, if it's tied to an application form, so I've built my application form and I'm doing these email templates in my application form, or you could do this in the global under the application, and I put this signature field in there, the first place it's going to look is it's going to go to the funding opportunity page. And it's going to look at a signature, which I'll jump to it here in a minute, and see if there's data in that field. If there is not data in that funding opportunity signature field, it's then going to go to the site setting and put the signature that's in the site setting. So that's when it's within an application form, it's going to go to the funding opportunity first. So where's that signature? So if I go home here, this is my one-to-many application. So I'm going to go to the application's funding opportunity that's directly linked to this application form, this one here. So I'm going to look for the 2024 One-to-Many Posting Fund demo funding source. It's the one that's directly linked that it's going to be using to look for that signature. I'm going to go to my Manage Application Funds. I'm going to search, to make it easier on me, for that funding source. And now I found it. I need to open up that funding source and then click the edit here. And then once the edit opens, scroll down to this field right here that says email signature. If there's something in this field, that's what it's going to populate that email template with, the information that's in this email signature. And the reason this is nice is you can see I have a lot more data I can put in here. I can put my name, I can put a title, I can put my address, contact information, all of that in a signature. Otherwise, the administration tab signature, because if it doesn't see anything in that box, it's completely empty. It's going to jump to the administration site setting. And then it's going to go to the signature field there, right here, and that's what it's going to put in there. So that's another important field, that if you're using that signature field, make sure you've got the correct data populated in the correct places so that it picks up the correct signature. So now let's go back home to the application form. And one-to-many, excuse me. Okay, and now let's see, deadline date, of course, application deadline, very self-explanatory. That's the deadline of the actual application. The application contact first name, last name is the application contact in the general information. So when you built the application in the general information section is the contact person. This is what this contact email, first name, last name, that's where it's getting that from, the application contact under the general information screen. So of course, if you didn't add a contact to your application and you use these fields, it will be blank when it's sent to the applicant. The reply to email. This also is a reply to email that is found in the general information setup of your application form. There's a reply to, and what that is when you have, when an email is sent and they reply, it goes to the reply to email address in the general information setup of your application. So the general information of the application, if I go application settings to general information, I have this reply to. That's the email that it's going to send it to when they reply. And what you want to do is you want to put please reply to in the email, and then click that, put that reply to merge field in that message. So you would say, please don't click reply to this, reply to, and then give them this address here. And then also the contact, that's this individual here. That's that contact information. So whatever's populated, whatever's in my contact that on the user that I created, that's the contact information it's going to pull over in that contact merge field. And I think I just have one more merge field that's important to know when you're building. And that's going to be in your award templates. So if I can find the right one here. This one is the system. So when you are creating email templates and notifying your applicants of the award, you're going to notice here on this award template, because I've selected that template so I can get these fields. If I didn't select that template, I wouldn't have these fields. You have 4 different templates in regards to awards. So when you're creating an award template, you want to make sure and get the correct award field. So if you have a one-to-one application, that's one application with one funding source tied to it, then you want to use these fields here, final award and initial award. So that's what that does is you're going to have to put the grant and fellowship name that they've received. So you've been awarded, you would say something to the extent of you've been awarded the following award with the name, and then final award or initial award depending on which field you're populated at the time that you're sending this email. If you're using initial award, you haven't done a final award, then you'd want to make sure to get the initial award. However, if you're doing the final award, you want to make sure and put the final award so that they know what their award is. That's the monetary amount of the award. That's the final award. If you have a one-to-many application process, then and you're matching applicants to awards and you've awarded them based on the one-to-many functionality, this is where the award details comes in. You have an award details, which is actually the final award details, and the initial award, which is the initial award details. So what those details are is when you have award, when you use the award details, that's giving they could have more than one fund they're being awarded. So it's going to give them the name of the fund and the monetary amount. If they have 3 funds, it's going to give them the name of the 3 funds with the monetary amount next to it. So that's the 2 differences. So you want to make sure you get the right field into those specific award templates. And then I do have one more. It's just the template to reviewers. So there's a specific template that is already set up for review. Is it this one? Yes. And the only thing in here you want to make sure of is the reviewer first name, reviewer last name. You notice I have those fields now because I've chosen this specific template. That was a system template, and that template has those 2 fields in it. So you need that so that it goes to the reviewers, not to the applicant. And then, of course, it has their email as well. So I think that is the key merge fields that we need to discuss. So I'll go ahead and stop there, and we'll turn it over to Maureen for about 5 minutes for a quick Q&A. It's all yours, Maureen.
Thank you, Christine. Okay, one of the first few questions that we have is the notification tab is not showing under my archived applications list. That is in the archived folder. So that's the basic functionality of archived applications. There are limitations to the functionalities that you can see. So if you ever want to go back and look at the notifications tab, please move the archived applications back into the active list. It will take you approximately 24 hours for the movement to happen. The application to move from the archive list to the active list, and then you should be able to see the notifications tab and have access to all the emails. Can I add another question? Of course, can I add additional merge fields that are not present in the email templates? That is, apart from the current merge fields that we provide with all the flower brackets, all those merge fields, can I create another merge field? Unfortunately, no, you cannot create. There are limitations to the system, because if you create another one, clearly it will not work. So you cannot create new merge fields of your own in the system. Can I add my organization logo to my email signature? Now, as Christine had shown you under the fund setup screen, this is from where the signature merge field, auto-populates the email signature of the person or associated with the application. Whatever you wish to provide, just your organization name. You can add the organization logo or an image if you wish to add. But as Christine has mentioned earlier, these days the IT, filters are so much, let's just say, in place, that certain emails will end up going to junk or spam folders. You don't want that happening, right? So images will just be counted as junk because of the IT rules that are set in place if it's an organization email address that the recipient is using. So be careful when using logos or images in the email signature field. Can I Okay, so this question is, how does the nomination template work with my request sections? So it's very simple. As Christine has explained, you create another nomination template. Christine, can we go to the application, one of the request section settings, please?
Yes. Go to
Yeah.
application
Okay.
settings.
Thank you. So once you create add a new nomination email template, what you would be doing is, it should work this way, is if you go to one of the request sections, that is request section settings, not the sections and questions. Yeah, there we go. Now, if you can see, there is an email template field there. If you click on the drop down there, once you create this nomination template, you should be able to see all the templates that are present on that nomination field. Okay. So currently it is showing all, but it should only show the nomination email templates. Those the ones that are associated with the request sections. You had something, Christine?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. All right. I think I will stop here. I have answered the rest of the questions while typing them in. Please feel free to type in or ask more questions before we end the session today. Thank you, Christine. Back to you.
Okay, and thank you, Marie. So now let's go ahead. Now we've talked about building templates. So now let's talk about how to send emails to your applicants. So of course, like I mentioned before, there are occurrences that cause emails to automatically go out. But there are also occasions where you yourself want to be able to send emails to your applicants. So we have a few different ways to do that. So first of all, the first one, let's go ahead. I'm going to go back to the home so we can get the full trail here. So from the home page, I'm going to select my application, the application that I'm working in. And then I'm going to select the notifications here. And in this notification center, you can actually send emails to a group of applicants, a batch of applicants based on their status or status detail. So to do a batch email based on statuses, you can go over here to the notify. And in this notify, you have over here where you choose the status or you can choose the status detail down here. If I choose the status though, the system, those are those automatic system statuses. Say I want to send an email to all of my applicants who are still pending submission to notify them that we're getting close to deadline. And so I'm going to send an email to all my pending submission applicants. So I click pending submission and I see I have 4 applicants that are still pending submission. And so I'm going to go ahead here. I have my 4 applicants. And then if I wanted to do a status detail, I could drill down even further. And then I can do one of 2 things. I can just go ahead and have this, type my message down here at the bottom, and then click the send and have it go out right now. Or maybe I want to set this up ahead of time and I want it to go to my pending submission applicants, but I'm setting this up ahead of time, maybe next week or next week I want my applicants to get this. So what I can do is I can actually go over here and select a date, click the select date, and say don't send this till next Tuesday. And I want it sent at 2 p.m. and that's based on your current time. And then over here, I can select a template that I want to send. Maybe I created a custom template already. Here's one. And then I can give me my my subject line, of course. And then from the subject line, I can go down here and there's my template here. And then type my message and then it's ready to be sent. So I'm saying don't send it until the 26th to all my pending submission. So you may ask, well, what if by next week they're not pending submission anymore? Well, what this does is when you use this batch, when you use this functionality on this screen and send them by batch, if they're no longer pending submission, maybe they went in and completed it, it will not send it to them. It's only going to send it to the individuals that are at the current status at the date that you're sending it. And then, of course, once you create your template, you do want to go ahead and hit send. So since I put a date up here, it's not going to send it till the 26th. If I want to preview it, I can click preview and preview the message, of course. Close the preview to close it. And then over here, I can then click send. And then it's going to say, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes. Okay, so then it's going to send it. Now you may ask, well, what about I've done it and I realize there's something, I need to make a change to it. I want to cancel. I want to cancel the batch. How do I cancel it? I decided I don't want to send this message. You do have what's over here, something called batch schedules. So if you want to cancel a batched email, it's just a matter of going into the notification center, going to the batched schedules, and then once you're in the batched schedule, you'll see that email that's waiting to go out. Now you can cancel a batch up to 10 minutes prior to the scheduled time. So what that means is I have this going out at 2 o'clock. I have until November 26th at 1:50 to get this canceled. Or I should say 1:49 to get this canceled. Okay. And so all I need to do is come up here, click cancel. If I'm within that time frame, it's going to say, are you sure you want to cancel? I can say yes. And then it will cancel that. And then you'll notice here, it'll now say a status of canceled. So that's how you can cancel the batches. Like if you schedule a bunch of them ahead of time and then you're realizing, you know what, I don't need that email to go out, you can actually come here. And again, it has to be 10 minutes prior to that scheduled time. It has to be less than that 10 minutes. Then you can come here and cancel it, those batches. And that's how you send a batch through that notify. Okay. So now, okay, that's individual, but what about batch emails? I mean, what about individual emails to my applicants? I don't want to do a batch. I want to send individual. So I'm going to go to the Manage Application screen here. And anywhere you're on a report that has a selection next to the applicants and a notify button, you can send an email to everyone you've selected. So if you just want to send maybe I just want to send a message to this one individual, I can select them and hit notify. And then I have a blank slate to work off of here. And then if I want to select, maybe select more, I can actually come here and select multiple applicants, and then their names are also going to show here in the to field as well. And then again, I can select my template. I can give it a subject, and then here's my body where I can actually do a message, or if I selected a template, I'm just going to grab one real quick here, and then I can select that template. And then again, I have a schedule the email where I can schedule it to go out at a later date, or the send now where I can actually send it now. If I hit the schedule the email, then again, it's going to give me a date and time. I can say maybe I don't want this to go out till tomorrow, and then I have the time as 1:50 p.m. And then I can hit save for sending on dates scheduled. I can hit save for sending on date scheduled, and then it'll send it out on that specific date. Okay, so that's how you can send them out to individuals. And then of course, if I didn't want to send it out on a specific date, I can select it, hit notify. And I froze up for some reason. Let me just go out, come back in. Uh-oh. Let's close it out completely and then try to go back in. Well, don't know what just happened. Let's see if we can try another browser here maybe. Okay, are you, Maureen, are you available?
Yes, Christine.
Okay. Are you able to open it up on your end?
Just give me a second, Christine.
I'm hoping we didn't just lose our site.
No, it is working just fine. Yeah, it's working fine, Christine, at my end.
You can get it.
Do
Okay.
you
Okay.
want to? Yeah.
Okay. So let me just try another. Let me try Firefox, and I don't know why it's not letting me open it. Let's try this. Hmm. Okay. Well, we can do the rest of it. I think I have functionality on another site. I couldn't get it on my Firefox either for some reason. Oh, here we go. Now it's working. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so now let's backtrack here a little bit. Talked about canceling. And if you want to send an email, go in. Manage applicants. And of course, as I was saying, if you want to send one to just click it, hit notify. And if we're not using the schedule, then of course you can just, instead of clicking the schedule, you want to click the send now. Okay, and then once you click that, it's going to send it to that individual. And then something else it does is once it sends it to the applicant, you're going to notice over here this notification date. It will put the notification date that it sent them. So this is the last notification you sent them and the date that you physically sent that to them. So anytime you see this, this is that notification date of the notification that you sent them. Now we're going to talk about the SMS functionality. So the SMS functionality does require that you have Twilio purchased. So you do have to have Twilio purchased already on your site to be able to use that. And once you have that, then of course, if you've purchased the SMS text functioning from us, if you've contracted with us to have that attached to your system, then we would set that up for you. The first step, of course, you do want to make sure that before you send text messages to your applicants, that you do have their cell phone numbers set up in their site. So of course, once you activate this functionality on your system and it's in use, then that is a requirement. Anytime an applicant creates a profile, a cell phone number would then be required. But if you've already using our system, you haven't activated it, you decide to activate it, then you do want to make sure and go and get all of those cell phone numbers from your applicants and get those put in before you start sending text messages. Because what's going to happen is to send a text message, again, I'm in my manage applications on my application form, and I have this notify via SMS. So when there's a phone number, of course, so I have my applicants here, I can select them. I hit notify via SMS. And when I open that up, it's going to give the phone number here. So there's the phone number that it's going to send it to. And then I give my text message here, hit send now. And then once I hit send now, then that message will go out to the email that's here. Now you can send out a message to multiple applicants. You can select multiple and then click that notify via SMS, and then it'll send it to all the applicants, and it'll list all of their names and the phone number that it's sending it to. And then again, if you want to see if who you sent messages to, you can go to the notification center. I don't have Twilio set up on my site, so unfortunately I won't have any data in here, but this is where you can go and see the messages that you sent. This is the SMS notify status, and then I'll be able to see the messages that I sent. The notify status over here, if you sent an email to an applicant and you want to view that email, you can go here and view it here under notify status, and then you can view the message. This is that batch that I went to send out. It shows that it's canceled. You can see if an email wasn't sent. And then you can also see if an email was sent. So you'll be able to see all of that data in the notify status. And then for your text messages, you're going to see that in the SMS notify status. So that's how you can monitor the emails that have actually gone out. Now there's two other locations you can send emails. So the next one is your reviewers. So how do you send emails to your reviewers? So to send emails to your reviewers, one of the locations is going to be located on your application form under the application, under evaluations, and manage committees. So this allows you to send an email to the entire committee. So you would select the little selection over here for the entire committee, and then come over here and hit this notify. Now you can see you don't have any templates, so this would just be a message to all of them. You would put their first name, last name, and their email ID if you wish. Make sure you put a subject line, and then you can hit send, and it'll send that message to the entire committee. So maybe you've created all your assignments and you just want to notify the entire committee of their assignments. You can select this, hit notify, and quickly say, hey, your assignments are ready for review. Go ahead and go in and start reviewing them, and then click send, and then send that message to them. So that's one way. The other way, if maybe you want to individualize it, you can go to assignments to committees here, and then once you click assignments to committees and your assignments have been made, then you can come down here and select all multiple, select singular, whoever you want to send the message to, select them, and then over here hit the notify reviewers, and then here's your message. Who's it going to? You do want to make sure and select, if you notice right now, I don't have that recommender name information here, so I do need to go out because I want to make sure I address it to the right person. So I'm going to select a template, and then I'm going to select that template that's for where I can get those two merge fields and then create that. So even if I don't want to send this message, I can go ahead and remove all this and then send a basic message. Or of course, if I did want to send that message, I want to make sure and pull that data into this into that template so that I do have those merge fields available for that reviewer first name and last name. And then again, you can schedule it just like you would schedule any email template for a different date, or I can click the send now and send it now. So that's the emails to your reviewers. And then one more location where you can send emails is through the user setup. So maybe I want to send a message to one of my global admins, or I want to send a message to a reviewer or an applicant, or somebody who isn't an applicant yet, but maybe I created all my applicant accounts and I don't have an applicant where they've started an application. Maybe I want to send them a message, especially if you're a grant user. You may have this scenario where you have all your grantees out there and you don't want to invite them to an application, but maybe you want to send them a message about an application's coming. So what you can do is you can go to the administration tab, and under the administration tab, make sure you're in the setup users. And if they've got an account already created, so maybe especially if you're a grant user, you may have your organizations, you may have added all of them to the site and had their accounts set up for them. Then if they're here, then you can come here and you'll see there's a notify button. You can search for them. You can select one, two, multiple individuals, and then click notify. I'm only going to do the one here. And you have kind of a screen similar to that one with the committee members. You have this screen here where you can put a subject, enter their name. You can actually put the signature. Now this signature, since it's not tied to any application, again, it's going to look at that site settings signature. So whatever that site setting signature is, that's what it's going to put as the signature. Or of course you could type your own because there's no template you're pulling. You're just sending them a quick message and then clicking the send now to send that. And that's from the user screen. So if they have a user account and it's not tied to any application, the communication you want to give to them, and they haven't started an application, so they're not going to be in that manage applicants screen, you can come here and select them and send that message to them. And even your admins, your admins aren't going to be tied to anything, but maybe you want to send one of your coworkers a quick message about instructions you want them to do on this site. So that is all I have for now. And so we'll go ahead and let Maureen finish with the questions for the day, and then we can close out. It's all yours, Maureen.
Thank you, Christine. Just a few more questions and everyone can leave. One of the questions is, can I send emails from our organization email server? Can we do that? Absolutely, yes. you can replace our email address or our server and send emails through your email server. However, there will be a cost associated with, because this is a customization. Also, there will be no way in which our team will be able to keep a track of these emails and provide any support related to the emailing processes. So we highly recommend not to move in that direction, but if it's an absolute necessity, that is requirement from your organization to have your own email server, send out these emails, please reach out to us on clientsuccess@communityforce.com, or open a ticket on with us on Zendesk. That is support. Okay. Then there is a question that says, uh, can I schedule emails to go out of the system prior to my application process going live? Well, ideally, no, because you do not have any applicants, or there's no records associated with the application to schedule any emails. However, the alternative, as Christine has already shown you earlier, is if you have an email application that is going to open up in a couple of days, you already know that there are applicants who have been applying to your previous year's applications over the years. You can look at them under setup users, administration setup user screen, filter them out as applicants, and then send them an email. This is not scheduling emails, although you're just sending them out as an announcement that, hey, first name, last name, we are going to open
Maureen, hello. Okay, it looks like we've lost Maureen. She's dropped off. So I think she's covered the majority of the questions from what I can see. If she hasn't been able to cover your questions, yeah, it looks like everyone's been answered there. So then she'll go ahead and reach out to you via email to answer those questions. But we can go ahead and close out our session for today. So again, it's always important to make sure you get a copy of the handout, because it does have some linkage to a lot of the key information that we covered today, as well as to Zendesk, to our help guides out there on our help desk, so that you can click there, actually get the information needed, and get more details on some of the stuff we didn't have time to cover, of course. So go ahead and click on the handout section to get a copy of that downloaded. And then, of course, you'll have those merge fields available. Also, if you have any questions, or you maybe want to meet with one of our client support team in regards to maybe your processes, and want to go over your processes to see if there's some changes or need some help with some of the functionalities we covered today, then please feel free to go ahead and enter a support ticket by going to the link here to our support desk, and then enter a support ticket requesting that one of our client support specialists reach out to you, and that you would like to meet with one of them. So that is all that we have for today. So again, we appreciate your time today, and again, apologize for the connection issues we're having today. and hopefully the next session we can do this without any glitches. So everyone have a good day and enjoy your week, and we'll see you next week. I mean, next month, I guess we'll be doing one next month with the holiday season. We know everyone gets busy, so we are going to only be doing one, and it'll more than likely be around December 17th, right before the holidays. So hopefully we'll have the information out to you on that shortly as well. So everyone have a good day and take care. Bye.